Hi everyone. I wanted to come on today to talk about death and love. Two things that I don't think we're particularly good at talking about. And they're really important because death and love are what, for me, give so much understanding and depth to our lives. I've just returned from a really wonderful catch up with a friend, an old friend of mine from education. And we don't see each other all that often, but when we do connect, it's just wonderful. It's just one of those really easeful, beautiful conversations. It's just lovely to be in her company. And naturally, what comes up in these get togethers when we reconnect is talking about, first of all, work and also about what has happened in our lives. So, if we've not seen each other for a few months, what's happened in our lives, what's happened with our families, what's happened with work colleagues, etc. And there's always, always, always conversations in there about love. And there are always conversations about death. And I'm really, really noticing how when people come into my world, either through friendships or as clients, we talk about these deep things. And I actually love talking about both of these subjects because as the founder of Heartology, I've come to know and understand that my life, as your life has been too, has been this journey of lessons. And what I know to be true is that certainly in my life, there have been many, many challenges relating to both of these topics. So I could say a lot in this one conversation, but I'm going to try and keep this one quite short because I do plan to do some more of these. But for someone who has had several near-death experiences, which I have had, um, they have been such deep initiations in my life, and you're never ever the same afterwards. And I guess my perspective and my worldview has really significantly changed for the better, I would argue, as a result of these near-death experiences. And one in particular where I recall I was out of my body and I was looking down on my body during the birth of my youngest daughter, who is now 19. So quite some time ago, but I've had one since then as well. And interestingly, for those of you that have maybe experienced a huge initiation like this yourself, it really makes you question the purpose of life. And this is where this really connects with love because each time I have been faced with a deep, deep, deep initiation like this, it has brought me back to remembering that very thing, that very big, big truth for me is that the whole purpose of life is to love. And in the absence of love, that's where we have a really challenging life. And that's where it really starts to consume what it means to be a human being, I feel. So I just wanted to share that I've just been reminded of that today in that conversation with my friend because we were talking about colleagues that have passed in recent months. We spoke about, colleagues who have retired and maybe they've had partners that have died, and just how much that then is an opportunity, I'm going to call it, to really examine your own life when you're when you're faced with your own mortality, whether it's come to you personally or come to a loved one, through illness or death or, just a significant change even in your life, it's an opportunity to rebirth yourself. And what I mean by that is to re-examine, not in an intellectual sense, but in a spiritual sense, what this life is for, what it's about. And as I've said, for me, it's always, always, always bringing us back closer to love. And I really feel that love is a word that is used, um, obviously very frequently by a lot of people. But what I've also been examining through not just the conversation that I've had today, but over many years, um, is what is love? You know, what is the essence of love? What does it mean to me? Because it may mean something else to you or to the next person or someone else. And what I feel that I'm on a really big mission personally and also to share with the world, um, is let's talk about love. Let's explore what love really is. Let's explore the depths of love. Let's explore the facets of love. Because for me, love has many fractals, it has many aspects, it has many qualities. And, we can have loving acts of kindness, but we can also have loving acts which are driven by righteous anger or through searching for um, justice. Yeah. We can also have loving acts which are forgiveness. And for me, it's always leading us to clarity. It's leading us to get really clear and really pristine in our energy. Because in essence, what we're doing is we're removing from our life and stripping everything back that is not love. Now, behind me, you can see probably that there's a bit of decoration going on in the house. It's very sparse behind me. That's because we are refurbishing our whole house, which is a big project, I have to say, particularly for my husband. And it's really interesting to me that even our surroundings, our environment, we have an opportunity to strip everything back, take everything away that is clutter. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I accumulate clutter, but certainly my daughters argue that I've got a maximalist um, interior design preference, let's say. And as you get older, I'm now starting to feel like it's maybe quite a lot to dust and hoover around lots of stuff. So I'm really, even in my external environment, feeling that it's evolving as much as I am internally. So I'm stripping things back to not a bare minimum. I still want it to feel lovely and cozy and everything in the house. Of course I do, because it's our home. But I'm stripping things back so that we just see the actual beauty without all of the stuff. And taking things back to really what we need rather than just accumulating stuff. And I think that that's a beautiful analogy for our lives because we can accumulate a lot of stuff, beliefs, thoughts, indoctrinated programs, um, labels, identities, um, lots of things that, the list is endless, really, of what we have taken on as, yeah, an identity of who we are. And the work that I'm here to do with clients is to get that clarity, to strip everything back, Yeah, all the masks, the roles, the identities, the beliefs that do not serve us, all of the clutter, if you like, so that we get to the pristine core truth of who you are as a soul. Because when we get back to that place, the only thing that's left is love. So when we think about it, when we are born encoded with our soul's mission. We are already encoded. If you think of, here's another analogy that's just dropped in. When you think of an oak tree, that oak tree has taken many, 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 many years to grow and mature into a beautiful oak tree. But it started off as an acorn. And inside that acorn was the blueprint of that oak tree. Its destiny was always to be an oak tree. And we are the same. As human beings, as souls, we incarnate into these human vessels. And we are encoded with what I call our gold print. We already have this beautiful destiny, this mission that I believe we have agreed. Yeah, we are co creating a beautiful life of lessons. But along the way, things can become quite complicated due to our beliefs, our schooling, our parenting, just our lived experiences. So we can start to over identify with other thoughts, other people's expectations of us. And we can get caught up in our jobs, in our roles, whether we're mothers, daughters, caregivers, um, whatever career we've chosen to follow. And we can start to over identify with that rather than remembering who we are as a soul and that there is a deeper, more significant purpose to our life than working the 9 to 5, than being there for everybody else. And I truly believe that our most important job is to be ourselves and to be more of ourselves every day. And it is a lifelong journey of self discovery because the only person that can do this is you. So, people like myself, I can help you, I can guide you to get there. Another analogy that's dropping in from spirit is I like to say with my higher self, actually, is that if you're going to view a house, you might have an estate agent that will show you around, but they aren't the main piece, if you like, the house is. So they are showing you around the house, they're pointing out all the fabulous bits that make that house unique or, it's going to fit your purpose. So you're not focusing on the estate agent, you're focusing on the house. And when we think about our own selves, our own house, this beautiful body that we've been gifted, this temple of our own, as a guide, not that I'm an estate agent, but certainly as a guide, as a mentor, I can help direct you around your own inner temple, your own inner landscape, what is in your own house, so that you can start to see yourself more clearly, so that we get behind the clutter, we get behind the over-identified over-identification with roles and identities, others' expectations, all of the things that I've mentioned already. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful experience for me to witness women coming home to themselves, to discover who they truly are as a soul. And so for me, it's really, really always about this journey of love. bringing clients back to the core essence of who they are as this beautiful soul who's experiencing love in their own unique way through all of their own lessons that they are choosing to co-create, through the relationships that they are in co-creation with, and so that we can better understand the deeper meaning and purpose of this life. And so, having that conversation over breakfast this morning with that beautiful friend has just reminded me of the importance and the enormous gratitude that I feel when I get to bear witness to this beautiful work for others. There is nothing that gives me more joy than helping women like yourself to navigate through some really difficult and challenging stuff, to find the gold underneath it all. It really is beautiful. And that is what leads us back to feeling free, so that we are feeling sovereign once more. We're not feeling like we are victims of life. We're coming back to a place of being in charge. We're placing ourselves firmly back on the throne of our own life and knowing that you have power. And this is a whole other subject that I'm going to come and talk about some other time, but the abuse of power that has been running rampant on this planet for aeons of time. And I really feel like timelines are shifting. We were coming back into unity once more, rather than feeling that we're all alone, that we're living in separation, that we're all out there striving and trying to make our lives mean something and we're working hard. But we're not here just to be workhorses. We are here for so much more. We are here to enjoy our lives for a start and not trying to just squeeze a life around a job. And it can often feel like that. And I really, really appreciate that that's what this very fast-paced, technologically advanced time is demanding of us. But this is where we get to take our power back. So between birth and between our exit point, whenever that, and we also have a choice in that, by the way, whenever that is, when we think of even like a headstone, when somebody's passed and, we've laid them to rest in the cemetery, at their grave, and we see these gravestones, these headstones, and we have a birth date and we have the date of death. That little dash in between is the bit that really matters. And yet we're simplified down to a little dash on a headstone. And so my invitation today is to think about, what are we doing in that dash of life? Because life is very, very short when you think of it. It's very, very precious. And I don't want anyone in my world to feel like they've left things too late. I don't want anybody getting to, the end of their life, or perhaps they have a sudden death and they feel like, gosh, I wished I had done, or I wished I had been, or I wished I had, it's too late. So it's important that we really, really start to remember that life has so much beauty to offer. And we get to choose. We get to take our power back. We get to be back in the driving seat for life. And there are people like myself that can help you to remember this, and not just in a cognizant way, but in a heartfelt way where you absolutely know that you are here on purpose with a purpose. And it would be so joyful for me to support you with that. So I have created what I'm calling Heart Compass sessions. And these are really to remind you that your heart is your true center. True north, we hear a lot, and it's not that I don't like the talk about true north, but we really need to know ourselves first before we start to look outwards. And I feel like in life, sometimes we're doing it around the wrong way. So let's have a conversation about coming back to the essence of who you are. Let's strip away all the clutter. Let's get back to the source of who you are. Let's remind you that you're a spiritual being having this human experience. And let's explore together what your heart has been whispering or shouting at you all along. What do you want this little dash to mean for you? So these heart compass sessions are to redirect you back to navigate within to the heart center. And I would love, love, love to have a one-to-one session with you to explore initially. Let's get you back into your heart space. Let's get back into this feeling space and let's explore the depths of love that belong here. And let's really connect to our heart intelligence. And these were things that we were never taught in school. Yeah, we were always taught to think, with our minds. And of course, that's important, but it shouldn't supersede the heart because the heart has been waiting patiently all of your life for it to lead the show. So I would love to support you with that. So if you're interested in having a heart compass session with me, that's a great place to start. And then from that place, we can explore how I can support you going forward. So I've got a whole array of offerings that I can then have a conversation with you about how I can support you to live a life that is just joyful, peaceful. You will feel so much more in the seat of your power. So this is about shifting you from any victimhood into being the victor of your life once more. So if you would like to know more, please reach out. I would love, love, love to hear from you. I am going to finish this conversation with you today with a card pull from my own oracle deck, the Soul Call. And this oracle deck I created, a couple of years ago now. It's available on Amazon. And you can find more details about the work that I offer. You can also find the link to this oracle deck on my website. I'll put a little caption beside this recording, and you'll find my website at kellyrays-butchart.com. So let's find out what your soul would like to hear today. The perfect card. I knew this card was going to come out. So when I was talking about the gold print and the gold that you hold, this card is called Soul Mining. I do apologise if it's not quite going into focus. So you can see just at the bottom there the words Soul Mining, find the gold you hold. And you can see it's literally a mine. Now, when I was creating this oracle deck a couple of years ago, I've created it from my own journey of spiritual development. Some people would call it ascension. And I'm also taking inspiration very much from my lived experience. So I grew up in an ex-mining village. So there's the homage to mining. But for me, it's not about the external mining. I use that as an analogy. This is about the internal mining. This is about exploring the depths within yourself. And that's exactly what I'm here to offer you in service. So let me just share this message for you today. Just receive this in your heart. Deep within you lies a treasure trove of wisdom and light, waiting to be unearthed. The journey of soul mining invites you to delve into the depths of your being, to explore the hidden recesses of your soul, where your true gold resides. This is a path of inner discovery, where the greatest rewards often lie in the places we least expect, within the shadows, the challenges, and the aspects of ourselves we have yet to fully embrace. As you embark on this inner journey, trust in your ability to uncover the precious gifts that are uniquely yours. The process may be demanding, as it requires courage to face the parts of yourself that have been buried or forgotten. Yet, it is in these very shadows that your highest treasures are hidden. Your strength, your wisdom, and your deepest truths. Allow yourself to be patient and gentle as you mine for this inner gold. With each step, you draw closer to the core of who you truly are. And with each discovery, you become more aligned with your soul's highest purpose. Remember, the gold within you is not just for you. It is meant to be shared, to light the way for others, and to bring beauty and love into the world. In shadows deep, the treasure gleams, hidden gold within my dreams. Through darkened paths, I find my way, unearthing light to guide my day. And then I'll just invite you to take two fingers and tap on the outside of your hand and just repeat this affirmation after me. I journey within to uncover the gold hidden in my soul. I embrace the challenges and shadows, knowing they lead me to the wisdom and light I hold within. And with that, I'm going to love you and not leave you because I will be back. Take this beautiful message into your day. And if you would like to hear more about the work that I do, you can find that on my website, or please just reach out. I'd love, love, love to hear from you. And how has this message landed for you today? Let me know. Big love, everyone.